I would request Rajeshwari Ba to complete the story.
So I am continuing the story further. Old Bearman was a painter who lived on the ground floor beneath them. He was past 60 and had Michelangelo's moustache beard curling down from the head of a starry along the body of an IMP. Barham was a failure in art. 40 years he had whirled the brush without getting near enough to touch the hem of his mistress' robe. He had been always about to paint a masterpiece, but had never yet begun it. For several years he had painted nothing except now and then a dumb in the line of the commerce or advertising. He earned a little by serving as a model to those young artists in the colony who could not pay the price of a professional. He drank again to excess and still talked of his coming masterpiece. For the rest, he was a fierce little old man who scoffed terribly at the softness in anyone, and who regarded himself as a special mastiff in waiting to protect the two artists in the studio above. Shu founded Barham and smelling strongly of juniper berries in his dimly lighted den below. In one corner was a blank canvas on an easel that had been waiting there for 25 years to receive the first line of the masterpiece. She told him of Johnny's fancy and how she feared she would, indeed light and fragile as a leaf herself, float away when her slight hold upon a world grew weaker. Old Bearman, with his red eyes plainly streaming, shouted his contempt and desiring for such idiotic imagining. Was, he cried, is there people in their world meet their foolishness to die because leaves they drop off from the confounded vine? I have not heard of such a thing. No, I will not boss as model for your fool hermit downred. Why do you allow those silly punisher to come in their brain of her? H. Dot poor little Miss Yonsi. She is very ill and weak, said Sue, and the fever has left her mind morbid and full of strange fancies. Very well, Mr. Behrman, if you do not care to pose for me, you need. But I think you are a horrid old frigate. You are just like a woman, yelled Bearman, who said, I will not, boss. Go on. I will meet you. For half an hour I have been trying to say that I am ready to boss. Got this it not any blast in which one so got as Miss Yonsi shall lie sick. Some day I will paint a masterpiece and have shall all go away. Got yes? Chauncey was sleeping when they went upstairs. Sue pulled the shade down to the window sill and motioned Bearman into the other room. In there they peered out the window fearfully at the leafy vine. Then they looked at each other for a moment without speaking. A president. Cold rain was falling, mingled with snow. Pearman, in his old blue shirt, took his seat as the hermit miner on an upturned kettle for a rock. When she awoke from an hour's sleep the next morning, she found Jonesy with dull, wide open eyes staring at the drawing green shade. Pull it up, I want to see, she ordered in a whisper. Wearily she obeyed. But lo, after the beating rain and fierce gust of winds and had endured through he livelong night, there yet stood out against the brick wall one I will live. It was the last on the vine, still dark green near its seam, but with the straight edge stained with the yellow and dissolution and decay. It hung bravely from a branch some 20 feet above the ground. "It is the last one," said Jonesy. "I thought it would surely fall during the night. I heard the wind. It will fall today, and I shall die at the same time." "Dear, dear," said Sue, leaning her worn face down to the pillow, "think of me. If you won't think of yourself, what would I do?" But Jonesy did not answer. The lonesomest thing in all the world is a soul when it is making ready to go in its mysterious, far journey. The fancy seems to possess here her more strongly as one by one the ties that bound her to friendship and earth were loosed. The day wore away, and even through the twilight they could see the lone ivory leaf clinging to its stem against the wall. And then, with the coming of the night and the north wind was again loosed, while the rain still beat against the windows and pattered down from the low Dutch eaves. When it was light enough, Chauncey the merciless commanded that the shade be raised. The evil leaf was still there. Chauncey lay for the long time looking at it, and then she called to Sue, who was stirring her chicken broth over the gas stove. "I have been a bad girl, Sudie," said Jonesy. "Something had made that last leaf stay there so to show me how weak I was. It is a sin to want to die. You may bring me a little broth now and some milk with the little pot in it and no, bring me a hang mirror first and then pack some pillows about me and I will sit up watch you cook." An hour later she said, "Sudie, some day I hope to paint the bear and Naples." The doctor came in the afternoon and Sue had an excuse to go into the hallway as he left. "Even chances," said the doctor, taking Sue's thin, shaking hand in his. "With good nursing you will win. And now I must see another case I have downstairs. Barman, his name is. Some kind of an artist, I believe. Pneumonia, too. He is an old weak man and the attack in acute. There is no hope for him, but he goes to the hospital today to made more comfortable." The next day the doctor said to Sue, "She is out of danger. You have won. Nutrition and care now, that's all." And that afternoon Sue came to the bed where Johnsy lay constantly knitting a very blue and very useless woolen shouter scarf, and put one arm around her, pillow and all. "I have something to tell you, White Mouse," she said. "Mr. Bahman died of pneumonia today in the hospital. He was ill, and only 2 days the janitor found him on the morning of the first day in his room, downstairs helpless with pain. His shoes and clothing were wet through and icy cold. They couldn't imagine where he had been on such a dreadful night. And then they found a lantern, still lighted, and the ladder that he had been dragged from his place and some scattered brushes and a palette with green and yellow color mixed on it and look out the windows, dear, at the last ivy leaf on the wall. Didn't you wonder why it's never flood or moved when the wind blew? Ah, darling, it's Behrman's masterpiece. He painted it there the night that the last leaf fell." So thank you. Here the story is completed.
Uh, so, moral of the story is based on one last hope. So that last leaf is a hope for a lady who is ill, and there is one Bollywood movie, Lutere, which is based on this short story of O. Henry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajeshvari,